Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. You know, I built this fire pit a little over 2 years ago, and this has been one of the greatest things I have done because I come out here and this is my sanity. This is my place to come and reflect in life. You know, I hear the crickets out here, sometimes I hear the frogs. I got the water from the fish pond. You know, I can sit here and have the warmth of the fire. It's just kind of like, you know, it's just like my quiet spot that I love to reflect. And I started doing the fireside chats because when I had something on my mind, it was a great place to talk with you guys. And it's also that place at the end of the day, I like to come here and reflect. Did I do everything I could to be the best Mark Holmes I could be? Did I do everything to be a good citizen? Did I do everything I could to try and advance myself and my family as well as my fellow man? And if I didn't, then I would recommit for the next day and try and figure out what can I do better tomorrow than I did today. I'm going to tell you guys, in the time that I have been doing the Joe Blue Sports Report, coming out here, the one thing I can guarantee you that I don't do is give you bullshit. When I give you a number, a statistic, and things like that, it's based on fact. It's not bullshit. It's not crap. You can believe that if I told you something, I have something to back it up with. And one thing I can't stand is when somebody says, you're full of shit. I'm calling bullshit on you. You're a fearmonger. Because in my last video, I said, listen, right now, what we're going through is serious. A lot of people don't believe it. A lot of people just say, you're a fearmonger. We ain't got nothing about that. Oh, it's only 2% of the people might die, or maybe even 1%. Well, I got to tell you, if you're that 1% or 2% or 3% that dies, it's 100% for you. And maybe you're in a position where you don't know anybody. Maybe you don't know anybody who works in a hospital that has to deal and help these people. Maybe you don't have family members who have died from it. Maybe you haven't lost a loved one or a friend or know somebody who's been in a hospital. But I can tell you one thing. I can guarantee you one thing. You will in the very near future. Because what I said earlier, I said right now, I heard an interesting statistic that literally in the United States of America, the greatest country on earth, that we right now are at the point of having a person die every minute of the day from COVID. And this person said, I'm going to call bullshit on you because that would be like 43,000 in a month. Yeah, you're right. But I want to give you the numbers. See, let's do some math here. I'm going to get to my subject. I apologize to all you who didn't come here for this, but we need to have a rude awakening. What you understand is there are 60 minutes in an hour. Is that under dispute? 60 minutes in an hour. Okay, good. I'm glad you got that. There are 24 hours in a day. So if you take 60, multiply it by 24, do you know what number that comes up to? 1,440. I know this because I'm really good with numbers, okay? I'm really good with numbers. That's why I'm great at building stuff. I can look at a space, get the measurements in my head. I can do all the math, okay? I do the numbers. So if you're challenging me on numbers, you're making a mistake, buddy. So 1,440 is what? Is how many minutes there are in a day. Yesterday, there was 1,449 people by the government statistics that died from coronavirus. That's more than 1 per minute. Now, if you do multiply that 1,440 times 31 days in a month, that is about 43,000 people in a month. And right now, because we are so high with daily numbers, we're getting there. Because see, we're over 150,000. We started 6 months ago. It didn't start out at 43, but it's climbing and it's getting there. And that's why you have to understand that this is serious. And instead of people saying, oh, you're fear-mongering, it's not real, it's not that bad. Yes, it is. Yes, it fucking is. And you need to get it straight in your head so you can help stop it. I'm sick and tired of people, oh, it's bullshit. And somebody told me that they actually, in Florida, and I don't know if this is true, but you can actually buy a test, a negative test result. So that way you don't have to quarantine or so it's no problem. Hey, here's my test result, I'm good. So, my man Omar, shout out to you, buddy. Omar expanded on my earlier thoughts where we heard that D-Law said it was a divided locker room. And also Greg chimed in as well. Greg chimed in and said, yeah, well, you got the Garrettites, and Des Bryant actually talked about that too. Because he called Sean Snake Lee and said, it's the Jason Garrett crew, that Jason Witten was part of that and so on, and Sean Lee and everything else, and that there was that division in the locker room. Well, they got rid of Des, maybe to squash that, which was not, we know it wasn't Jerry Jones that wanted to get rid of him. We know that. That was Stephen Jones and crew. But I hadn't thought about this one, though, as well. That there was also division, possibly on the defense, from Rod Martinelli to Chris Richard. And see, Chris Richard, unfortunately, I think got a bad rap because you had Rod Martinelli, whose philosophy was bend, don't break. When Chris Richard was with the Seattle Seahawks, when were they not aggressive? When did they ever sit by passively? Those guys challenged the fuck out of, excuse my language, out of offenses. They went up and knocked receivers in the mouth. They went for the ball. And maybe that difference of opinion was Chris Richard versus Rod Martinelli, and maybe that's part of the reason why the defense didn't work. Sounds plausible to me. But to expand, of course, on the original premise that I had, and again, who knows? I'd like to talk to D-Law. D-Law, if you want to talk to Joe Boo Sports Report, hey, I can send you a couple Cuban cigars and stuff, and we can do like a fireside chat with Zoom if you want. We can do that. But I'd like to know more. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I didn't turn on the side light. There we go. Wow. Can't believe how clear everything is with these glasses. Jeez. Even at night. Damn. I usually can't see jack at night. But anyway, as Greg was saying, that the team liked Jason Garrett, but of course they didn't believe in him. I like Jason Garrett too. I just don't believe that he was the guy to be the head coach. The team, some of the team didn't want him back, but they also didn't want to be losing a lot of games. So you kind of got in there, we got to do just enough that we're not losers, but just enough that we get rid of Jason Garrett. I'm telling you, as I watched that game, I watched the Ram game, it looked like two different teams. I'm sorry. The way that defense played against the Rams, which had better personnel than the Eagles did, I'm sorry. I don't know how the Cowboys defense went from playing that good against the Rams to that bad against the Eagles with a depleted roster and Carson Wentz. Although they only gave up 17 points, so it wasn't that bad. But the offense, same thing. And I still think about Zeke Elliott. That's that play that I can't seem to ever get out of my mind. After having a terrible first half, Zeke Elliott runs through, has a couple of good runs, has that play. I'll never forget Fletcher Cox and that big arm being spun around and that arm hitting Zeke and seeing it hyperextend. Seeing Zeke go, I need a blow, and seeing Fletcher Cox going off, carrying that arm, and seeing him on the sidelines with a bag of ice for one play. And then he goes back out there on third down. And Zeke is still on the sidelines. I don't know how that happens with your bellwether back in crunch time. That a Fletcher Cox can hyperextend his elbow, stay out for one play, but yet your running back who wasn't injured has to stay out for longer. And maybe, and I'm not going to say that Zeke Elliott was trying to throw the game. I'm just saying it's a coincidence. But maybe that's part of the division in the locker room. But back to that number that somebody said I cried bullshit on me. I know quite a few people who have had to deal with coronavirus. Not only from the disease itself, but the ramifications of the economy being screwed up, being unemployed, trying to make sure that they can pay their bills, make sure they have food to eat and medicines that they need. People who haven't been able to get treatments for other issues because facilities don't have time or space, or there's a fear of bringing them in. I know those people who have died. I know those who have been hospitalized for a long length of time. And I know others that have had it. This is real. The sooner we all get in our heads and understand that it is, the sooner we can start doing something about it. This is for all of you out there. I'll be saying a prayer tonight like I do every night for all of us. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate you guys spending this quiet time with me. See you in the morning.